Hello rail fans, and welcome to another Minecraft French Fried Trains locomotive tutorial. Today we're going to be building this special painted Norfolk Southern sd33 Eco. The sd33 Ecos are special rebuilds built to comply with Tier 3 environmental standards, usually out of old SD42s and other Jeep models. This one was built from an SD42, so let's get into it. As usual, I'm going to be building this right on the front of the train I already have. And the first thing we're going to do is build the coupler. So come in with a dark oak stair and put it the opposite of the other coupler coming off the last locomotive. Underneath that, we're going to put dark oak fence gate, and that's going to represent our air hose. Then we're going to come in with polished black stone stairs, one block behind the coupler, and get a row of 3 coming across the rails right side up like this. Then make sure we delete that bottom one we used for placement. On the outside, we put upside down stairs facing outwards. Then on the next row up, a polished black stone block in the middle, and then upside down forward facing stairs coming out to the edge. Same thing on this side, upside down forward facing stairs. Then a row of polished black stone blocks across the top. Come around behind that, and in the middle, make a column of 3 blocks and then 2 on the sides to make this T pattern. Underneath the sides of the T, put 2 end rods on each side to be the porch lights. Then switch back to the polished black stone block and make another column of 3, and then drag that out to the edges of the track on both sides so it's a 3x5. Now we're going to build our wheels, so take out a block of netherite, skip a block, and place it so you get a block on each rail. You'll have to delete the middle blocks we used for placement, and then put an end rod between them to be the axle. Then we're going to take out nether brick stairs, and we're going to make a back-to-back T-shaped pattern coming all the way across. And we're going to extend that out all the way to the edges of the railroad tracks on both sides. So upside down in a T-shaped pattern from end to end. Then back to netherite and 1 on each rail for the next set of wheels, and an end rod axle, and then we do the same thing with the stairs. Upside down, back to back in a T-shaped pattern, coming all the way across to the edges of the railroad tracks here. Now back to netherite for the 3rd set of wheels on this truck. So a netherite block on each rail and an end rod axle. Now we're going to take nether brick slabs on top of these stairs here and drag it end to end from where the front wheel is to where the back wheel is. And we do the same thing on this side. Put it on that top row, extend it out over the front wheel, and bring it all the way back to the back wheel. Once we have that done, we're going to take out a grindstone, and we're going to come underneath the wheels here. And everywhere there's a wheel, we're going to place a grindstone, but we want to make sure it's coming down off the nether brick, not attached to the wheel. And we're going to do the same thing over here. So everywhere there's a wheel, place a grindstone coming down off the nether brick. I'm experimenting with a new truck design here, so it's a little different than my previous locomotive. Once that truck's done, we're going to come on the backs of the wheels and on the fronts of the wheels with a dark oak fence gate, and we're going to open them into the wheels. This represents air hoses and sanders. Then switch to your polished black stone block and fill in the 3 across the top of this truck in the middle here. Once we get to the back, we're going to come out another 2 blocks, and then underneath this end we need to place a row of 3 on the bottom underneath it there. Then we're going to switch to stairs, upside down and outward, and put a row of 12 upside down stairs. Once you have your row of 12 stairs, switch back to blocks and bring them 3 across to the other rail. Then switch back to the stairs and same thing, upside down stairs facing outward, and bring that up and connect it with the front there. Now that we have that fuel tank frame in, we switch back to blocks and continue bringing this middle 3 back. and bring it all the way to the back of the fuel tank here. I usually don't fill in that bottom middle because it won't be seen from the outside, but you can fill it in if you want to. Now we got to build the next truck, so skip a block and take out netherite and place our first set of wheels here, one on each rail, and delete the middle block you used for placement and put an end rod axle in. And then same thing as the front, we're going to switch to the nether brick stairs in an upside down back-to-back T-shape and make them coming end to end from each edge of the railroad tracks. Once all them stairs are in, back to netherite and a wheel on each track with an end rod axle, and then another set of upside down back-to-back stairs going to the edges of the railroad tracks. And then once we have all of our stairs in place, netherite for the next set of wheels here, one on each rail and an end rod axle. Since this one I'm building is based off an SD42, it has 3 axle trucks. Take out a netherite slab and put it on this outside top row here, going from the front wheel to the back wheel. Same thing on this side. Nether brick slabs going from the front wheel to the back wheel. Once we have all the slabs in place, just like the front, we come underneath and hang a grindstone coming in front of each wheel. And do that same thing on the other side, so come around here and then hang a grindstone from the slab in front of each wheel. Now we're going to come in between the wheels and the fuel tank here, and on the faces of the wheels, open a dark oak fence gate. And then same thing on these other wheels, on the faces of the wheels, open a dark oak fence gate into them for sanders and air hoses. Now we're going to come back on top with our polished blackstone stairs and fill out this middle 3 coming all the way to the other end of the truck here. We go one past, and then in the middle we're going to place 1 block coming up in a column of 3. And we're going to extend that out too till it reaches the sides of the rails on both sides. Now we're going to come on this inner 2 on each side and place end rods for porch lighting, and then fill in this middle T-shape just like that. Switch to blackstone stairs and place them sitting on the rails facing this way across the middle 3. On the outsides, upside down stairs facing outwards. Then on the next one, a block in the middle, upside down forward facing stairs going out to each side, and then the top is just a row of 5 blocks. Now we take dark oak stairs for the coupler and bring it up to that second block up on our locomotive. Delete the ones you used to place it and put a dark oak fence gate underneath that for the air hose. Now we're going to take out oak wood slabs for our stairs, and on the bottom of each of these 3 blocks, place them 3 going up so there's a space in between them. So on the bottom of each of these 3 blocks, there's our stairs to get on our locomotive. Come over to the other end and we do the exact same thing. So come in here, and on the bottom of each block, place 3 oak stairs going up, and same thing over here. 3 going up, placed on bottom. Now we decide where the front of the locomotive is. Mine's going to be facing out there towards the void, so we're going to come on this end of the fuel tank, and we're going to stand in the middle and place a player head backwards on each side so you don't see the face. Then next to that, a crimson button, and then we're going to turn this way and place a crimson sign as straight as you can on each side. This represents your fuel gauge, fuel cap, and emergency shutoff. Then we're going to take out some anvils, and starting right next to that sign and coming all the way until 1 block away from the back of the fuel tank, place anvils. Same thing on this side. So stop 1 block from the end. These are your air tanks. Now we take out a chain, and starting from the front porch in between the truck, place 1, and then place 2 here coming to the air tank, all horizontally. Then turn around, come to the front here, one coming off that truck, one coming off that porch, and do the exact same thing on the other side. One coming off the porch, one coming off the truck, come around to the back, two coming off the truck, and then one coming off the porch. Now we're going to come on top with white concrete and start filling in this top, 5 across, and we're going to bring that all the way to the other end. Once we brought it all the way to the other end, the underframe of the locomotive is finally done and we can start working on the top. Now the typical SD40 has a long front and back porch, but the front porch is shrunk on an SD33 Eco because the nose gets extended to house electronics related to its emission control system. So we're going to take out lime concrete 2 blocks back in the middle from the front, and then we're going to extend that out 4 blocks on each side, kitty corner like that. Then we come out kitty corner again on the outside with more lime concrete on each side, and we bring that back 4 blocks on each side. Now take out white concrete and fill in these middle 3 of the nose 2 high. Then the rest of the nose here we fill in with black wool. I use black wool because I think black concrete is too dark to see when you're working with something like this. Then we're going to come out here, which is the sides of the cab, and we're going to make a row of black wool across this, and then one on each end, and we're going to put white concrete in the middle to represent the locomotive number. So a row of black wool and then white concrete in the middle. Then on the corners of each piece of the cab we put 1 black wool block. We're going to knock out these 2 black wool right here in the nose for a door. We put white stained glass on each side for the windows and come one in with the stained glass on each side of the front and put a block in the middle. Now switch to white concrete and in the middle of this window place a block, and then we're going to turn it into this T-shaped pattern right here. Then switch back to black wool and fill in the roof of the cab coming back to where we stopped here. Now we're going to switch to green concrete, and coming one in from the edge of the cab here, we're going to start dragging this towards the back of the locomotive. When we get to the back, we need to leave a gap and place one in the middle. That middle block should be 4 blocks back from the end, and then drag your green concrete forward to the cab on the other side. Now we're going to come in from the back of the cab with lime concrete on this next row up and make a row of 5 blocks and put one on each side of lime concrete. Now we fill in the rest of this layer with green concrete going all the way around. These SD33 Ecos from Norfolk Southern have this green swoosh painting because they were built in conjunction with the Georgia government, and there was a big media event when they were unveiled, so they got this special green paint job. For the next layer, starting from the back, green concrete in the middle, and then a row of 7 green concretes coming forward on each side from the back. So 7 on this side as well. Once you have that, switch back to lime concrete and bring that forward, stopping right before the lime concrete on the layer below it. Then we come up a layer again, and starting right here where this green concrete ends, put lime concrete above it and bring that to the back and wrap it around. Same thing on this side. So now we have this green swooshy stripe. Now we come in with a smooth quartz block and one over from this lime green and one up from the bottom. Start and knock out 2 and put in the smooth quartz blocks to represent some lettering. Then, still on that same row, one back from the end, knock out a block and put in lime concrete. There's a little map of the state of Georgia on these locomotives right there. Same thing on this side. One up and one over from the green. We knock it out, place 2 quartz, and one back from the end we knock it out and place lime concrete. Now take out black wool and starting from this lime concrete, fill in this top layer with black wool. Here where it goes down to, we're going to have to extend it into 2 high columns, but leave a gap by the cab so we have a door. On this side we can start right at the cab and bring it up by 2. Fill this all in columns of 2, and then bring your black wool all the way up on this side. Now we're going to come in with black wool behind the cab and extend a row of 3, 1 block out behind the cab. Now we take out a blast furnace and place a row of 3 facing backwards on each side like this. Black wool in front of each one and a smoker in the middle to be the exhaust. Fill in this middle hole with black wool. Then come to the back of the locomotive, in this middle 3 place black wool, and then take out bedrock and bring that all the way up to where the lime concrete ends on each side. Now switch back to black wool and fill in the rest of this top layer so that it meets up. We're also going to go ahead and fill in the whole middle here with black wool all the way to the back of the locomotive. Now we're going to build our fans, so take out a polished black stone slab, 1 in from the middle, and make this plus shape, and then another one and a third one. There's 3 fans back here. Now take out polished black stone stairs for the dynamic brake radiator, and 1 back from that bedrock, place it upside down facing backwards, and then bring them forwards facing outwards until the front, which you wrap towards the front, leaving a block between that and those vents. So same thing, we leave a gap of 1 and we get the first one facing forward, and then we bring the rest facing outwards till we get 1 block before that bedrock, and we place this one facing backwards. Switch back to polished black stone slab in the very middle here and use that to build a plus shape on each side for the dynamic brake fans. Now we're going to come in the center of all these fans and knock out the center block of each one. Inside, we're going to put a smoker on each one. Then on top of those, we're going to come down and we're going to crouch and we're going to place an iron trap door on top of that. These represent the actual fans. Now we're going to come ahead to where these front vents are, and on top of those, we're going to put daylight sensors. And we're also going to tap them so they turn blue so they're a little bit darker. There's a little raised section here on the real locomotive. So make a 3x3 of daylight sensors above that and tap them so they all turn blue. Now we're going to come in with dark oak fence gate in between the exhaust and this first fan here, and we're going to place those and open it to be our horn. Now we're going to come in on top with black carpet, and anywhere that there's nothing built, fill the area in with the black carpet, making sure to come all the way around the fans and even on these stairs on the outside here. This will help make the whole top of the locomotive look a bit more cohesive. Even on this side, make sure we get in between the fan and everything. We got to finish the top of the cab, so keep bringing your carpet forward. And then we place a row of 4 right side up stairs above the windows here to get the curvature of the top of the cab. And we're going to switch back to black carpet and fill in the top of this T-shape here. On the SD33 Eco, these back radiator vents are flared outwards to give more cooling to the emission control system. So one way you could do that is with trap doors like this, but I don't think it sticks out enough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and use stained glass. So I'm going to pull out black stained glass, and we're going to put this over this bedrock. And I'm even going to extend it out one on the end and on the front, so it looks like this whole vent is flared outwards. Same thing on this side. So starting from the end, black stained glass, bring it forward just like that. Now we're going to come in with lime concrete on the front of the nose here And in front of the cab, we're going to bring 3 lime concrete out towards the front. Same thing on this side. 3 lime concrete out towards the front. Now we need to get stairs to this back door, so we take 2 green concrete on bottom, 1 lime on top to line up with the door. Now we're going to build our railings, so take oak fence, and coming on each side of the stairs here, a row of 3 coming up, and then extend it up by 1. Come around to the front and place a 2x2 of dark oak fence on each side, leaving a gap in the middle. Then we can switch back to our oak and bring that 3 down to the bottom and connect it. Then on this side of the stairs, come from the bottom all the way up. Then we switch back to dark oak, 1 over, 1 up, and then extend this till it reaches the cab. Come on over to the other side of the nose with dark oak, 1 over, 1 up, and extend it till it reaches the cab. Now we'll come on down to the back of the locomotive and start working on the railing there. So same as the front with dark oak, we make a 2x2 on each side with a gap in the middle. Then we switch to oak fence and go all the way down to the bottom by the stairs there. Same thing here, starting from the bottom, come all the way up. Go over to the other side and do the exact same thing. So starting from the bottom, coming up and connecting, and then starting from the bottom, coming up, and 1 past. Now switch back to dark oak and bring this all the way to the front of the locomotive here. We stop 1 before the stair and bring it up 1 over 1, up 1 again and over 2 to connect to the cab. Come around to the other side, start at the bottom of the cab, and bring the fence all the way back till it connects to the railing we already have back there. Now we're going to take out a bell, and we're going to come around underneath on the conductor side, and we're going to knock out the chain that's in this gap and hang a bell there. Now we're going to come down on the front of the locomotive here with a warped fence gate. 1 in from the left side, place 1, and then 1 in the middle. And then a crimson button next to that. This is your MU port and your MU cable. This is a new MU cable design I'm trying out. So we're going to come around to the back of the locomotive to put our cable there. Now we come around to the back of the locomotive here, and we have to place it connected to this other locomotive. So delete the fence gate on that locomotive, place 2 blocks under it so we can put some fence gates down, and we put 2 warp fence gates. Then we can delete those blocks. Now these locomotives are cabled together. Next to that, 2 warp buttons to represent the dummy MU ports when the cable's not in use. Now we're going to build our fold down walkway, so come on the back of this previous locomotive, crouch, and in the middle we need to place a trap door. Then we can fold it up and be able to walk in between 2 locomotives here. Now we come back to the front of the locomotive so we can put our fold down walkway up there. So we're going to need something to stand on so we can crouch, so put some temporary blocks up there. Come down on it, crouch, and get our trap door placed in the middle here. Having a little bit of trouble doing it, but I finally got it. Then we can delete those temporary blocks, and now we have the walkway for the front. Now we need to make some banners, so come into a loom with a black banner and white dye. We're going to put a horizontal across the top, a horizontal across the bottom, a horizontal across the middle, so we have these black stripes. Then we're going to take that same banner and we're going to put it in with black dye this time. Then we have to get the diagonal black triangular pattern in the right way so it's coming across the bottom like that. The next banner is going to be the exact same thing but opposite side. So come in with a black banner and with white dye, a horizontal on top, horizontal on bottom, horizontal in the middle, same banner, switch to black die, and do the opposite black triangle on the opposite side. For the next one, we use a white banner with black die, and we're going to use the pattern that's just a circle in the middle. Once we have that, we take it back in, and we're going to add a diagonal going that way, and then we're going to switch to white die, and we're going to put a horizontal on bottom and a horizontal on top. This will represent the Norfolk Southern horse logo on the front. Just one more to go here now. So now we're going to come in with a black banner in white die and horizontal on top, horizontal on bottom, and horizontal in the middle. So we have one that's just the stripes. So now we're going to come up with our banners on the nose of the locomotive, and in this white, that one goes in the middle, the plain stripes go to each side, and then wrapping around on the nose, we use the one with the diagonal black. Make sure you use the right one for each side so that it has this sloping diagonal pattern going into the black wool. Come around on back of the locomotive here with the banners, and we're going to use the one with that central logo in the center, and then the striped ones on each side underneath the lime concrete. Now we're going to come in with birch signs to be our number plates. One down from the top, put on a birch sign and type in your locomotive number. I'm using locomotive number 6210 because that's the picture I'm looking at. One on each side, just like this. Now we take out an item frame and we place it in the middle right above the banner. Put glowstone inside of it to be the headlights. 2 item frames down here with glowstone to be your ditch lights. Now we're going to come around and do the front of the locomotive. So same thing. Down here we're going to put 2 item frames, and we're going to put glowstone into those for the ditch lights. And then in the middle above the cab here, item frame with glowstone for the headlight. And then we're going to switch to our birch signs and put our number plates on each side above the cab windows here. Now we're going to come around the side of the locomotive and add a Norfolk Southern logo. So, underneath these stairs in the middle of this dark wool part, put 3 quartz blocks to represent the Norfolk Southern logo. They should be aligned right from the center. So from the very center of this, and then 1 out on each side. 3 quartz blocks, and that represents our logo. Now we're going to come in and do the interior of our locomotive. So come on into the nose here, and we're going to take out smooth sandstone slabs. 2 slabs high and 4 blocks back, so this whole center is filled into the same height. At the very front of the nose, bring the slabs all the way to the top of the nose. Then we're going to place an end portal for a toilet and then a door. And we're going to place a door right here on the outside. Come up on top of the nose, and we're going to place a string above that end portal and a string in front of that door. This will allow us to place carpet. So we crouch and we place black carpet over the strings and the doors and everything else, and we just cover the entire front of the nose with black carpet. Once we have the nose done, we'll come in the back door and do the rest of the cab. So go back to your smooth sandstone slabs, and on each side under the windows, bring a column of slabs all the way up till it meets the middle on each side. Then we'll start bringing this middle up to the same height, come 2 more back at that height, and that last one, a 3rd slab, so it kind of makes a stair. Then we fill in the sides till it lines up with our floor where the door is here, 1 behind there, and then fill in the other slide to that same height. Now we turn around this way and we place a stair on each side to be a chair. We give the engineer side a lever, and we place an item frame with a compass to be some instrumentation. Now in the back of the cab across this gap, we place a sideways blast furnace and then a glowstone so our cab's lit up. Then we come outside and place our back door. Now we need to build our blower housing, so we're going to come around on the conductor side of the locomotive here, and we're going to start with green stained glass. We're going to skip a block from the cab, and we're going to add a row of 3 green stained glass. Above that, a row of 3 lime stained glass. And then above that, a row of 3 black stained glass, and another row of black stained glass. Now we have our blower housing. Then for our final step, we're going to take out some black carpet, and we're going to come on top of these stairs here, cover that with black carpet, and then anywhere coming around the front of the locomotive that we don't have anything built, go ahead and put black carpet down. Same thing up on those lime stairs there. Then we come around the side, place black carpet right here on this white concrete. We won't be able to put it where that blower is, unfortunately, but just keep extending this all the way to the back of the locomotive. And fill in this whole back porch, and then come up the other side all the way to the cab. And once we come here, even put them on each of these stairs going up to the door. And there we have it, folks. We've completed this specially painted Norfolk Southern sd33 Eco locomotive. So that's it for this tutorial. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and have a great week. Stay safe out there.